Hi, Vishal. Hi.
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 So
We're live, I guess.
okay. So
Hi.
yeah. So welcome. I
Uh,
welcome everyone present here.
yeah, great. Let's just wait for 2 more minutes until we begin. Like, I guess 2 minutes.
Okay. Like till then, can we just like talk something about the AWS thing? Till then,
Yeah, sure, sure,
we
sure.
can join.
Sure.
So
Yes.
first of all, I would like to welcome everyone present over here, and definitely it has been a great journey from March onwards till like July and more forward. So, like, tell me about something about AWS Kolkata and how are you associated with it?
Okay, so my journey began with AWS Kolkata right after the community day last year, which was in August or it was October, I guess. Yeah. So right after that, I got associated with them. I attended a few meetings and stuff, and the breakthrough came in. I mean, I got connected with Ankit and people. That was when the AWS Educate session was conducted in my college. So after that, we built that synergy, and this journey was like we know how we started, and we would be sharing that now. So this journey has been a total roller coaster ride. We are kind of 5 months, I mean before schedule, and I guess we're on time now. I mean, let's see what follows now.
Okay, that said, like it's 11, yeah, 11:02. So okay, we'll wait for 5 minutes, I guess. Then we'll start, right?
I guess we should begin. We should start. So you will go first.
Okay. Okay. So I welcome each and everyone here. It has been a really tough job to bring everything from scratch up till here. It has been a great pleasure, in fact, from the AWS Kolkata side, especially Parth, Ankit sir, and many people, alongside. Like even Suman sir would be. We will be very much grateful to him. And yes, we have been associated with clubs from various like colleges. We'll be addressing them further, but for now, I welcome each and everyone present over here. And then, yeah, let's say Parth has something to share about his journey and bringing AWS Ranchi in help with AWS Kolkata and furthermore. Over to you, Parth.
Yeah. So the way this began was back in November 2019, and it was 9th November, I guess. We were sitting in the lecture hall too, BIT Misra, me, Harshit, Vishal, and the team of GDG Ranchi, and we were just discussing the things we are associated with. So Harshit just casually asked, can we start an AWS club in Ranchi? And I was like, I mean, I'm not sure. We can definitely see. So after that, I went back to Kolkata. I connected with a few people, and everything was good to go back in March. And people don't know this, but this event was scheduled on 14th of March this year. But then there was a fest in BIT Mesra, and then the COVID situation happened, so everything got postponed. I mean, we got disconnected, every one of us. I was still in touch with Ankit because of a few other projects and stuff. So I talked to him and I asked him if we can, do it virtually. And Vishal was someone who was, throughout. He was the one leading from the front. Like he was the one making everyone stay together. He was the one making graphic designs and doing everything basically. So it has been a roller coaster ride, of course, but then everyone who has been with us throughout has played a very crucial role, be it in the team or outside the team. Every other club or every other college, uh, we went to colleges and they kind of instantly supported us. So it has been a great journey throughout. I feel I would definitely like to thank Harshit Bhaiya for thinking about this. He's the visionary behind everything. Vishal, the one. the one man who has driven us through. And then Ankits are definitely from AWS Kolkata, like he has been super helpful throughout. Suman, Rohini, like they were the people who were developer evangelists, and I just went up to them. I texted them on LinkedIn, like, would you help us with our first session? And they just went, yeah, would be more than helpful to. So there are things behind the scenes that we cannot, disclose, but everyone has been throughout a major part in this journey, and definitely we can't wait to see what's more in this club. So let's see.
Okay, so that being said, I guess we can definitely pass on to Ankit sir for his session.
Yeah, we'll move on to Ankit sir. Sure.
So I welcome
Great
Ankit
time,
sir.
Vishal.
Sir, over to you, sir.
Thanks, Parth and Vishal. Hope you can see my screen.
uh, it, it's
Parth, can you
kind
see
of
my
loading,
screen?
I guess. It's loading. Yeah, we can see it now. Great.
Okay. Thank you very much, Parth and Vishal, for a quick introduction. Good morning, everyone. It's lovely Sunday morning, and I can see a lot of tech folks have joined this sessions. It's my pleasure to speak in my hometown, Ranchi, and we always wanted to start something new in Ranchi to create an ecosystem where everybody can contribute it. And today is a very, we can say, very memorable day where we are starting something, and this journey will continue further. Before I will deep dive into it, a very quick introduction about me. So I head the AWS solution architecture for enterprise migration workload for one of the big four firm in India. Couple of recognition from AWS in last few years, like AWS Community Hero, which I have received last year. AWS APN Ambassador. This is a program by Amazon Partner Network community where they recognize to the one who contribute very well in the partner network community. And currently, I am in the top 10 ambassador globally, and also AWS community leader. I hold 25 plus international certifications from various companies like AWS, Oracle, IBM. I frequently speak in different engineering colleges, meetups, MBA colleges, and try to see how we can explore further and how we can be connected. This is my Twitter handle, AKG Programmer. Now I'll just start as I can understand, like you all, most of you all are from Ranchi, right? We know like Ranchi is a very beautiful place, and this is the birthplace of Bhagwan Birsa Munda, right? And Ranchi is having a lot of talent, right? And we all know, like in all the different sectors, whether it's a sports or whether it's a manufacturing or retail, everywhere Ranchi has showcased their talent, and we have come up in a very good manner, right? So we wanted to, if you look at out the IT sector in Ranchi, right? We are just starting our journey. We have not done much, and we always wanted to create an ecosystem here, and the ecosystem can create multiple opportunities in Ranchi, whether it's for internship or for job or for technocrats, where like they can invest in Ranchi and create a forum where they can learn, they can share, and they can help each other. And thank you very much to Parth, Bisal, and the other folks who came forward and uh, you know showcase a commitment कि we can take it further Ranchi into the next level. So thank you very much, guys. So if you look at out the Ranchi kickoff, right? Everybody has contributed very well to start this journey, and let me tell you how excited the AWS leadership team is about the Ranchi users group. Uh, AWS Vice President and Chief Evangelist Jebbar himself congratulated the Ranchi team, and he mentioned about how his journey with the AWS users group across the world. So he has sent a video message for all of us. I'm just playing that.
S-
Hey, Ankit. Hi, Suman here. I guess you're not able to listen to the video. I think the volume may not work. So one way that we can have it is maybe if you can post that link into the chat so that people can watch it towards the end, not now maybe. Otherwise, it will be like they might get distracted. But you can have that message. Okay. Thank you so
So
much.
Suman, so I'll post the link. Maybe you can watch through it. So he has highlighted how his journey with the AWS Users Group and how AWS Users Group globally are working together to create a ecosystem where everybody can contribute it. With that, I would like to thanks the Parth. He's a very active guy. Whenever we meet in Kolkata, he always come up with the idea like he want to do something in machine learning side or artificial intelligence side, and he has shown eagerness and enthusiasm to start this AWS Ranchi users group. And the way he is doing is superb. He's always been in touch. He's taking the guidance, and he's having a lot of potentials to do something. So great job, Parth, for starting this Ranchi users group and taking the lead. I would also like to thanks Bisal, who is also contributing hard and making sure that we should able to scale this Ranchi users group, and we can build a stronger community here. Thanks a lot to Harshit and Soumyadeep, who is also supporting in growing this Ranchi community group since the time we have connected with each other. I would also like to thanks various technical forums in various engineering colleges. Thanks a lot to Hackathon and Coding Club BIT Sindri for associating with us. Thanks a lot to IIT BIT Mesra, Society for Data Science BIT Mesra, and Data Science Club IIT Dhanbad for associating with us and helping us in promoting our event. See, let me tell you, like each one of us can contribute to this community, right? If you can spread the word about this meetup also, this can help a lot, right? So everybody can contribute to this meetup. This is a purely non-profit platform where everybody can join the hand with each other and come forward to share their knowledge or to learn something new or to understand something new. I would also like to thanks the AWS team who is constantly supporting us, not only for Ranchi but for various activities across the India. So I would like to thank Suman, Rohini, who is constantly in touch with us and supporting us in various users group activity across India. Thank you, Suman, and thank you, Rohini. I would also like to thank Rasmi ji, who is also providing constant support to us in various user group event in India. With that, I think like couple of you are already familiar with AWS, and few all are maybe beginner with AWS. I would like to give a high level overview of AWS. What is it's all about, and how AWS is playing a vital role in this journey, right? So AWS is the leading public cloud vendor, and if you look at out the entire market, the kind of innovation AWS is doing is amazing. So they have started their journey in 2006 with only two services. One was Amazon S3, and the second was Amazon EC2. S3 was for storage, and EC2 was for compute. With these two services, they have started their journey. Until 2020, they have 175 plus AWS services across various solutions. So you can think of any solution, whether it's a blockchain, we have a service in AWS. If you think about artificial intelligence, we have a 10 plus built-in models which you can leverage within AWS. If you think about the big data analytics, we have a different kind of services which can help you with historical data processing, real-time data processing, and also for prediction. If you think about the larger ERP like Oracle e-business suite or SAP, we have a services to deploy these kind of enterprise grade applications. So if you can think of anything, we do have solution in AWS. And let me talk about the pace of innovations which AWS is doing. So every week they are launching 10 plus services and features, which makes AWS as a very unique platform and which differentiate AWS with other vendor. If you talk about the AWS global infrastructure, the way it works is there are three important concepts: region, availability zone, and edge locations. And let me tell you, in this unprecedented time, also AWS is making innovations, and they are keep on launching their new regions and availability zone so that customer can innovate and customer can build a cool product on AWS. So uh, let me share you how AWS has designed the infrastructure. So this is the URL infrastructure.aws, which shows a very good diagram how AWS has designed their global infrastructure. So regions are the the core pillar of the AWS global infrastructure. So India, within India, we have a Bombay as a one of the regions, right? And within a regions, we have a concept of availability zone. So availability zone are physically distinct, like one or more data centers which Amazon is having, right? So within India we have a Mumbai as a region, and within Mumbai we are having a three availability zone currently, which gives you a flexibility to deploy applications in a very highly environment, right? So this is the way AWS is innovating and making sure that this global infrastructure is available to the end users. Going forward, like they have planned to launch more availability zones and more regions in future, and they have already announced that they are going to launch 9 more availability zones and 3 more regions in Indonesia, Japan, and Spain. So this indicates a continuous momentum of AWS, that they are very dedicated to their customers, and they are making sure that the global infrastructure will be available to the end users. The AWS platform is a very highly available platform. With the help of multiple availability zones, you can deploy your infrastructure in a very highly environment. AWS infrastructure is a very much secure. We have a concept of shared security model where AWS takes care of their physical data centers, and the customer is responsible for all the things which they are doing on top of operating system. So let's say if you want to install any antivirus, you can install it on top of operating system. If you want to install any application, you can install on top of operating system. So you are responsible for any activity which you are doing on top of OS level. So these are the some of the key features which makes AWS platform a very unique. I think maybe some of you are thinking about it. You are a, let's say you are a coder and you do a coding in, let's say, C++, Java, or Python, or Perl, right? How you can leverage AWS, right? It's a very easy. If you are a programmer and if you do a coding, right, you can leverage AWS services API to build a cool products, right? And AWS is changing the way you do coding, right? We have a integrated development environment available in AWS, which you can leverage to write a code and to debug a code and to deploy your code in a very fraction of second. So that kind of flexibility and that kind of benefit you can get it within a AWS. Let's say if you love database and you play with RDBMS, right? Any relational database, let's say Oracle or MySQL or PostgreSQL, we have services, right, which can help you into explore these areas. We supports within AWS there are 6 RDS it supports, uh, and the beauty of the RDS service within AWS is that you don't need to install anything on top of any operating system, right? AWS comes up with pre-built Oracle databases or pre-built PostgreSQL database. You just have to launch it. The other key beauty of this RDS service, relational database service, is you don't need to patch the operating system, right? You don't need to take care of any vulnerability. AWS is going to take care of these things on behalf of you in backend. So that is the beauty of this RDS service. And let me tell you, AWS has also launched their own database, which is called as Amazon Aurora, which is one of the fastest growing database, and everybody is adopting this. And everybody is moving from their traditional commercial databases to this open source database. So Aurora is based on your MySQL and PostgreSQL. So it comes up in two flavors. Similarly, if you love NoSQL database, and the way we see the NoSQL database ecosystem is growing in the last 3 years, a lot of adoption of key value database and document DB database and graph database, which we are seeing in the market and within the customer community. So if you love to explore key value database, we have an Amazon DynamoDB within AWS, which you can use for creating a mobile or web-based application, or let's say IoT based applications, which can provide you a low latency and high throughput. Similarly, we do have a graph database, we have a document DB which supports MongoDB flavor. So you can create a graph database clearly in AWS. And the beauty of using this managed service database like key value or graph database within AWS is you don't have to install, or you don't have to take care of the DBA activity, database administrative activity. AWS is going to take care of that, so that you can focus on your code and you can build a cool applications within AWS. We do have a services for blockchain. You can build a decentralized network and build a blockchain based application. We do have a service for a data warehouse, right? Within a minutes you can launch a data warehouse cluster having a size 1 terabyte, or let's say a 10 terabyte. And if you want to scale this, let's say 1 terabyte to 10 terabyte, if you want to scale this cluster, you can do it in a fraction of minutes, right? So that's the beauty of AWS. Similarly, if you love the big data kind of activity, and if you want to process, let's say, a historical data, or you want to process real-time analytic, you want to do a real-time analytics, we have a service within AWS, with the help of which you can collect the data, you can store the data, and you can process the data. So that's the beauty of AWS. So AWS comes up with the various set of services which can help you with big data analytics, IoT analytics, and the other buzzword uh, which everybody is talking and everybody is also using it. So we have a various services for DevOps stack. We have a various services for container deployments, right? So I wanted to give you just a high level overview how AWS has various services which can help you. The big picture which I would like to try to hit this morning is AWS is trying their level best to bring services to your table, so that you can just focus on writing your code, right? Not maintaining the infrastructure. So let's say if you want to scan a document, or if you want to find something within a scan document, we have a built-in artificial intelligence model which they uh, extract in AWS, which is a AWS service. You can just make an API call and you can find a meaningful information from any scanned document. Similarly, if you want to do a forecasting, let's say manufacturing forecasting, or let's say HR forecasting, we do have a artificial intelligence model built within AWS, which we say forecast. This is a service within AWS. You just make a few API calls and you will be able to forecast something, right? So we have a various set of artificial intelligence model based service, and also we give you opportunity where you can develop your own machine learning model. With that, I would like to go uh, back I would like to go forward and give you overview of how AWS users group are globally, uh, they are expanded, right? So if you look it out, we have a 400 plus AWS focused users group globally. So it's been a long journey. So every major countries is having multiple AWS users group. We have a multiple AWS users group in US, uh, different countries in UK, Europe, APAC. We have a various users group, and they organize meetups regularly. So this is the platform, right, where you can come forward and share your ideas or share some cool innovation which you are doing within your company, right? Or you can come and attend the meetups and learn something new, right? So this is a very great platform, right, where you can be connected and be updated with what's going on within AWS, right? Just to give you an example, right, AWS always try to listen from their customer and come back with the cool solutions. So couple of financial services industry and couple of customer was regulatory restricted, and they can't host their data in let's say a public cloud. AWS has listened to their customers, right, and their pain points, and uh, they have launched a service which is called as Outpost. This is a service which helps you in bringing all AWS services to your own local data centers. So you can understand the kind of innovations AWS is doing it. They are making sure that their customers are happy, and they can build a cool product which can help in a various industries. And not only startups, the larger enterprises are exploring and building a cool product and running their critical business workload within AWS, right? In this picture, you can see it. We This is a picture of reInvent, where the various AWS users group, leaders get together and share their ideas, share their thoughts, share their logos and stickers, right? So this event generally happens in the month of December, and you can see in the picture we have a various users group leaders. So from India, you can see Bhuvna is there, who is our community hero from Bangalore, in the left side picture. In the middle, we have a Partha, who is our community hero and user group leader from Chennai. And we have a Rasmi, who always supports from developer marketing team. In the right side picture, in the middle, we have a Nilesh Abhai, who is a community hero and leader from Gujarat region. And there are two more folks there from users group globally. Moving ahead, in the next slide, you can see in the left side picture, we have a Jeevan, who is our mentor, and he is the first community hero from India. And he's giving sessions on how we are making Community Day as a service in AWS Users Group meetup at US. And in the right side picture, you can see that how different users group leader has came in reInvent with the various logos and stickers which they are distributing in the meetups. So it's a global platform, right? And it's a networking platform where all users group leaders and the various users are connected with each other and helping each other with the community and with the best practices or with the some of the cool innovations which they are doing it. Let me talk about how AWS Users Group India looks like, right? So if you talk about the AWS Users Group India, I'm happy to share this is the 17th AWS Users Group in India. So Ranchi is the 17th one. So we in every major city we have a AWS Users Group. Be the Hyderabad or Bangalore or Delhi or Chennai or Visakhapatnam or Bhubaneswar or Kolkata, we have a AWS Users Group, and these users group are very active, and their users group leaders are contributing very well, and we are organizing the various events related to serverless, related to database, related to container, and everybody is getting benefited. Not only students, not only the corporate people, even the AWS persons also joins and speak in these events or learn from these events, right? So that's the way this AWS Global Users Group is expanding. And within India also, we have seen a faster growth in last 3 years. And thanks to the AWS developer marketing team, AWS evangelists, for all their support for making this happen. So you can see this is the picture of 2018 Bombay Summit, where we all users group leaders uh, uh, having a get together, and we got out this picture. So we have the various users group leaders, right, connected with each other. And the way it works is, right, they share their learning, right, they share like, let's say there is a speaker A who has given a good talk in, let's say, city A, right? Their community leader can refer us, right? You can leverage the same talk for your user group community, and that's the way we are expanding. And in this pandemic also, right, we are doing online meetups in various cities, and we are making sure that every users within AWS communities are updated with what is happening within AWS, and this should be get updated so that they can provide a best solution to their customers. In this pic also, this is a pic of AWS Summit Bombay 2018. You can see that various users group or leaders are there from various city, from Surat, uh, uh, Bombay, Gujarat, Bangalore, Chennai. We have a various users group leaders, and like they are helping each other to create a ecosystem within India, so that like we can create a more opportunities for Indian people. Before I will go to the next slide, I would like to talk about my journey and my experience with AWS. Right. So I started my journey with AWS in 2012. Right. So I was a fan of database. So I did couple of certifications in 2010, 2011, and 2012. Before I moved to AWS in 2012, right, I was having close to 15 certifications, and I thought like, let's go ahead with AWS. And there was three pointer to move to AWS. The first was, right, AWS is the platform, right, which provides a rich set of services and features. The second pointer was the kind of innovations which AWS was doing it, the other vendor can't compete it, right? And the third pointer was, I really love AWS, right? So with these three pointers, I moved into AWS in 2012, and I started my journey with a small POC where I have created a HTML website, which was a static website, and I have hosted in S3, right? This was my first POC, which I remember it. And after that, I have developed the online examination system portal, which I have deployed on top of EC2 and S3 and Route 53. And after that, the journeys has begun, and I have worked on, in the last few years, I've worked on the large migration project, big data analytics, IoT analytics, and DevOps projects. So it's been a continuous learning, and I regularly try to keep myself updated with all latest offerings from AWS, so that I can provide a best solution to the customer. And so far the journey has been, very much awesome, right? I really enjoyed working with AWS services, and the kind of pace of innovations AWS is doing, I really like it. My journey with AWS Users Group has started in 2014 in Hyderabad, where I have joined AWS Users Group Hyderabad. At that time in 2014 and 15, we are having the users group in major cities like Bangalore, Delhi, Hyderabad, right? But I am very happy to see how we have grown, right? From 2015 to 2020, it's a tremendous growth. We have a users group in 17 cities within India. Kochi, Trivandrum, Visakhapatnam, every city we have a users group, and all are very active community. So I really love the way, and this community is helping a lot, right? I have seen in last my 6 years journey with the users group, the community is helping with the jobs to multiple peoples, right? The community is helping the internship offerings to multiple people. The community is helping with the new learning and best practices to the multiple people. So I have seen multiple benefits with this community, and I know a couple of folks in my network who has already got benefited from this community, and they are regular visitor of this kind of users group events or meetups. I would also like to tell you, not only this developers or system administrator are coming to these kind of meetup. Sometimes the customers are also coming to the meetups, and they are learning from these meetups, and they are trying to see like how they can take back these learnings and do some innovations within their companies, whether it's a digital transformations or whether it's retiring their legacy system and innovating on AWS, right? So it's been a fantastic journey, and I would suggest you all to utilize this platform to build your skill set. With that, I would like to talk about some of the next steps for Ranchi Users Group, and also some of the key benefits which you can get it, and how you can leverage this community. The first thing is, if you really want to build your leadership skill, or you really want to, you know, get your hands-on experience with the various, you want to get a various flavors, like you want to build your team management capability, or you want to build your soft skill, please join the core organizing team, right? This is a team, right, which helps, in creating the forum, right? And the forum can organize the speakers, find out a venue, or do a meetups, right? So please try to join core organizing team if you really want to build your leadership skill. The second point is share your knowledge. So let's say if you have done something on AWS, let's say you have built some serverless application on AWS, or you have performed some very good OLAP operations on AWS, or you have done some good work on data mining side or analytics side. Come forward, be in touch with the organizing team, and share your knowledge, right? Because if you the more you share, the more you grow, the more people will come forward, and they will know you. The third thing which I would like to talk about, if you join any meetups, right, or if you attend any meetups, you'll always learn something new, right? I remember, like in Hyderabad, when first time I went to attend a Java users group meetup, and those people were talking about something new in Java. I have learned something, right? And I've seen in the past also, right? If you want to learn something, right, you just join these meetups. You will definitely learn something, right? And you can explore further. So always try to join these meetups. In these meetups also, sometimes you'll also learn some best practices which can help you in your existing company. So let's say top 10 Linux based practices, or top 10 DevOps based practices, or let's say a top 10 security based practices on AWS, or top 10, let's say, cost optimization strategy on AWS. If you take this learning, right, it can help you in your existing organizations. Try to organize this meetup regularly, right? Because this is the way you will be get connected, and this will help you in building the momentum. Try to build a connected community, right? Whether it's through a WhatsApp, or whether through its Chime or any other meetup platform. Try to be get connected. Post your question, post your queries. If you're doing something, if you're stuck something, post your question in the platform so that others can jump in and try to help you out. The most important point here is leverage networking, right? Networking is the key thing in the IT industry, right? So these meetups helps you in growing your network or building your network, right? So this can help you in building a ecosystem, right, where you can get an opportunity for a job change, or to get an opportunity for an internship, or to get an opportunity as a freshers. I have seen in my career multiple people has got the opportunity through this users group and meetups, right? So try to share, or try to utilize this networking opportunity. Then the next point is the create opportunities. So when we will be able to create opportunities, let me share you, right? So let's say we have started AWS users group in Ranchi, right? This has given an opportunity to multiple people. The companies who are running in US or Canada, they are thinking about, like, opening their global development center in Ranchi. There are students who wants a job in Ranchi. They are now will be able to get the opportunity. The people who want to do internship in Ranchi, now they will be able to get the opportunity, right? The people who are already working in Ranchi, or let's say in surrounding areas, they'll be able to get the platform where they can contribute or they can share, right? So this meetup creates a lot of opportunity for different people. And the last but not the least, plan for community days. So let's say if you have a build a momentum with 7 8 meetups, and you find like people are doing fantastic job, everybody is learning, sharing, and happy, then plan for a 1 day community day where you can invite various speakers across the globe, and they can come here and they can help you with the various topics, right? With that note, I would like to inform you we are doing AWS Community Day India virtual this year, and this event is planned for 16th and 17th of October. I would request you all to join this event. I will share the event link in YouTube comment. So this will be a biggest event in India, and I would request you all to join, where you can learn uh, lots of contents we have planned for you. We have a workshop, we have a plenty of sessions which you can use it. With that, I would like to thanks once again to everyone who had joined this morning to make this AWS kickoff memorable. Thank you very much. Over to you, Parth.
Yeah, thank you, Ankit. That was a really very awesome and very informative session about the AWS part. Uh, we have our next speaker, Miss Rohini, and I just want to uh, over to you, Miss Rohini.
So you can see my screen. You can hear me well.
Yeah,
Awesome.
perfect.
Just give me a second. Okay. So I did wanted to cover a bit more on the UG part, and Ankit has definitely covered a lot of things about the user group and the communities that we have, and how you guys can, how every one of us can be part of the community and grow in our respective careers. Um, as Ankit mentioned, there is the user groups are from AWS are worldwide, and as he mentioned, we have a lot of user group communities itself in most of the very many cities in India also. I just wanted to let you know that as Ankit mentioned, this community is for you, right? It's not for the organizers, not just for the leaders, not just for AWS. It's built for you. So it's your opportunity to connect with a lot of people. It's your opportunity to showcase your work, or if you want to learn about AWS, or you want to learn about certifications, or you want to have more opportunities in your career, this is the place where you connect with people, you talk to people. I understand if COVID was not here, we all could have met in person and had more fun time, discussing each other, right? So if you have any things that you want to share, please do reach out to the organizers, and please do I mean, I've been an introvert all my life, and through communities I learned how networking really helps us. And it's been a great journey to be part of a community, to talk to so many people, and be connected to so many awesome people, because not every one of us knows everything in life, right? No, we're not. AWS is such a wide platform. You may not know everything on the platform, and I truly believe that there is no question that is a dumb question. So if you have any questions, if you want some answers, rather than you wasting a lot of time doing it yourself, I mean, you will definitely learn something out of it, but you always have a lot of community members to help you. So that is why we have these communities built up. It's a place to learn, to share your knowledge and get answers from the community itself, and to showcase anything that you have been doing. Um, just to give you an update, there is a meetup.com page, and if you or any of your friends or anyone who's interested in AWS wants to learn more, please do sign up on the meetup.com page, because then you will get these email updates, or if there are new events coming up, or there is any more discussions happening. I've seen a lot of meetup pages which are very active. They literally chat in the discussions pages. Like, they can connect to each other. You can find a lot more people in there, so it's quite open as to who else is there in the community and how you can reach out. You also know who your organizers are, what are the events coming up, what has happened. Now this is similar to all of the cities we have. So every city has their own meetup page, so that people can connect locally. And if if you also want to branch out to the entire country, because I believe that we all are Indians, right? And there may be a lot of knowledge that has already been shared, or someone else in another city is very good at it. Like Ankit comes from Kolkata, right? So you can definitely connect to other people across the whole country as well. We have a Facebook page, we have a YouTube page for the entire country, and as Ankit mentioned, we have a community day that is being planned. So earlier we used to have city-wise, but because of COVID, when we are going online, and while we're going online, the whole country is going to come together, and it's amazing how the community is working together to build an online event for all of us. So I think please do, if you want to speak at the event, there is a page where you can apply for proposals that I want to speak, and this is my topic that I'm interested in. And there will be a complete like selection process, and we'll let you know if you're selected or not. But please do, this is your chance to showcase your work. This is for the community, so please raise your hand and come forth. And the next point I wanted to say is me and Suman. Suman will introduce himself when he goes, he presents next. But me and Suman are available online via Twitter, via LinkedIn. If you have more questions, feel free to reach out to us via Twitter, via LinkedIn. And we are part of the evangelist team. So I know we are called as developer advocates, but we are part of evangelist team, or Jeff Barr's team to be precise. And we are your point of contacts in India. So if you need someone, it's always like, who do I reach out in AWS? So we are the people you can reach out to, and this is our handles you can reach out to. I've also recently started my own YouTube channel, where I know just a couple of videos there because it's just started this month. But the point I've been trying to run on the channel is I'm getting a lot of people to interview on this channel itself, to help answer a lot of questions with respect to training, with respect to certification, any tips and tricks, what about career guidance, because I keep getting a lot of repetitive questions, me, Suman, and I can definitely vouch for a lot of people, leaders in the community. And we definitely get a lot of questions that may be quite repetitive for us, but maybe new for you as a newbie, or you as a part of the user group community. So I'm trying to get a lot of different perspectives and answers towards it. So please do go ahead and watch these. I hope they help you answer a lot of questions. As Ankit mentioned, there are a lot of events that happen across the year. With COVID, the situation is a bit different this year, but there are still a lot of events that are happening online. So please keep a lookout. There's an events page. You can go ahead and check out what are the next events that are coming up. Use events to attend for sessions, but most importantly, use them for networking. I cannot stress enough to say how networking is important in our careers, and I'm really happy that all of you have really come together and joined the community itself. Then and we This is the first step, okay, and we have to take such small steps towards growth in our career. Ankit did touch base upon the Heroes program. So Heroes program is a worldwide community of AWS experts, and these experts come from the community. They are not really AWS people, right? Okay, they are not AWS employees, and these are coming from the community, and they have shown a lot of enthusiasm for sharing knowledge that really has an impact within the community itself. So heroes that we know go above and beyond, to share their knowledge in different ways. They could be via social media, via blog post, via open source projects, or writing in forums, helping answer questions in forums, or they could also be in-person conferences, or workshops or events that they have been doing. So there are a lot of ways that heroes are being contributing to the community, and AWS wants to recognize a lot of these people, and that's why there's a heroes program. So how do you leverage heroes program? Obviously, I mean, if you give back to the community, we could definitely consider you in the future. But how you can use it is, if you have a lot of questions, or like, you want to connect to someone who is an expert in AWS, you want to reach out to people, you can find these heroes across India and you can reach out to them. So just to quickly highlight, like Ankit mentioned, Jeevan was one of our uh, one of our own, I can't say oldest, but one of our first, community hero. And since then, we have had community heroes across India, in Sri Lanka as well. Um, and you can see Ankit, you can see a familiar face here. We also have a specialty hero. So we have a serverless hero, or we have a container hero, or we have machine learning hero. So if any one of you is doing a lot specific, domain specific work, definitely AWS also recognizes that. And with that, I'm at the end of my presentation. But just wanted to say it's amazing to see all of you here. Thank you for joining us. Feel free to reach out to us anytime. And with it, I'll hand over to Suman. Thanks, Suman.
Hey, thank you so much, Rohini. Thanks for the introduction. And let me try to share my screen. Please let me know if I'm not audible. And in the meantime, I will try to share my screen. Okay, so I guess I'm good. All right. So thanks, Rohini. Thanks, Ankit. Thanks, Parth. Thanks, Harshit, to injected that thought to Parth, and that's why we have this user group today, right? And thank you so much, Vishal, for all your hard work that you have put in. So, by the way, before we start, I just shared that YouTube channel of Rohini. So we have a lot of interesting interviews that would help help us to understand more about career with AWS technology, even career at AWS, and how to get started. And not only that, the people that who are coming in the show, they are expert in different field and different domain, so it's always good to listen to them. It's good for from the learning standpoint, no matter you are a beginner or an experienced guy, right? So with that, let me talk about myself. So my name is Suman Debnath. I'm based out of Bangalore. I'm basically from Calcutta, and at present, I'm based out of in Bangalore, and I work for the same team with Rohini, which we call it as a developer relations team or evangelist team, to the fancy terms. But the idea that we have is to help you all, right? So no matter what is your background, what you do in your day-to-day work, whether you are a student or a professional, you can always reach out to us, and we will try to help you how you can get started with AWS, or if you are already using it, we will try to help you how you can go to the next level, right? And if we are not the right person, we will surely connect to the right folks, right? So but we will call our work as a success if we enlighten you to the next level of opportunities. Okay, and I'm so glad that we are here for the first meetup. And what I wanted to ask you is most of the things which I had in mind to tell you, being this is the first meetup, is already covered by Rohini, and I don't want to repeat that. But one thing that would be interesting to know is what you really want to learn. So what is your expectation? Because you are spending 1 hour or 1.5 hours in the weekend, apart from your family time or your personal time. So you want to make sure that you spend that time in a good way, right? So you may type into the chat, or you can ping Rohini, me, or Parth, Ankit, anyone, right? So that we come to know that what is your interest area, right? So that we make a good use of your time. Okay. So with that being said, today we have the liberty to take any topic and talk about it. So we thought that we will discuss something around machine learning or AI, and I see that a lot of you are coming from data science background, because there is some data science user group community members are there in this meetup. So I thought that we can explore a little bit about AI and ML. Okay, so if you look around, we have machine learning everywhere, and we use it in day out. Whether you are a machine learning engineer or you are not, doesn't matter. But in a way, we are consuming, the I would say the consuming the products of machine learning innovation that we have, right? So we are using Alexa, that is powered by deep learning or natural language processing, and we are using it day in day out, right? Now when you get inside your home, once you enter your home, you don't switch on the television to see what is the news and all of that, right? You can just simply ask Alexa what is the news, what is the time, set the alarm, etc. So if you look at it, we take this for granted now, but this has optimized our work a lot, right? And we save that time which we had used to spend, on, doing these things manually. So life have become very easy, and the more easy our life becomes, we take it for granted. But whenever we take something for granted, there is enormous amount of innovation happened, behind that scene. And if you want to be the part of that innovation, I think this is the best time to get started, right? So similarly, we have Amazon Go. You might have seen that this digital shop. I call it digital because there is no manual intervention there. You just get inside. There is no person at the check counter. There is no check counter. You just get in, yeah, and you just pick up the stuff that you want. It's the whole shop is supervised by computer visions and lots of sensors, and it will just charge you from your wallet that whatever item you have picked in. So we don't have this shop everywhere in the world, but we do have in few in the US. Hopefully, we will have it in India as well. But the point is, these are the application of AI that we have, in our real world. And then we have drones. These days we do get, because of the COVID situation. Just think about it. If we had drone running around India, right, a lot of things would have been, easily available in this, tough situation. Which is not happening at this point because of other issues. But going forward, if you think about this kind of pandemic situation, I think this kind of technology will help us to evolve or to come over those tough situations. Right. So now, being at AWS, our whole objective or motto is to make sure that you can leverage this machine learning technology and do something to build something. Right. So you don't have to be a software engineer. So if you are a software engineer, then surely you can do this. But even if you are not a software engineer, not a developer, not a code developer, in machine learning terms, but still you should be able to leverage the AI capability in your application, and we will look into that in a moment. So the idea is you have to pick things which you want. There is lots of services that we have within machine learning area, but it's not like every service that is meant for you, or you need to be aware of everything. You just have to pick the thing which you are comfortable with, or you feel that you can make use of. Now, if you look at the whole services that we have in machine learning or AI, you will see that in Amazon we divide that into 3 different layers. Okay, and we divide this typically based on the maturity level that people have. So the very bottom layer is the ML infrastructure or framework layer, where we just give you the bare minimum hardware or the resources that you want or that you need to train your deep neural network, or to build your model, etc. So this is the layer where researchers or people who are doing PhD or masters, or people who are actually completely into machine learning, and they exactly know how to do things and what to do. But what they need is they need a very high intensive compute, high intensive GPUs, etc. So this is the layer that you should be in. So what we provide virtual machines or EC2 instances with built-in framework like TensorFlow, MXNet, PyTorch, Keras, etc. So these are the frameworks which are predominantly used by machine learning engineers. And what do we mean by these frameworks are inbuilt? We mean by that, what we mean is the moment you create an EC2 instance, so people who are new to AWS, EC2 is nothing but a virtual machine service on AWS. So if you want to create a virtual machine, you will log into AWS console and create an EC2 instance. So the moment you create an EC2 instance, any machine learning based EC2 instance, you get TensorFlow, MXNet, PyTorch, everything installed. And what you can do is the moment you log in into the virtual machine, you can just create your virtual environment and get started with your code. Okay, so you don't have to worry about, you need to install TensorFlow version X or version 2, whatever. Everything is there. We just go and get started with it. And these all have GPUs, NVIDIA GPUs. So that means that you can make use of CUDA while training your models. So this is for at the infrastructure level, where you can make use of all the hardwares that we have. Now the next is the middle layer, and this is where the main magic happens. So this is where most of the data scientists or machine learning engineer will spend most of their time. So this is not something like a virtual machine or EC2 instance that you get, but you get a complete, I would say that list of services which you can use during your entire machine learning, pipeline. So you can train your model, build your model, you can deploy your model, and also you can debug your model. So you will, just like how you run your code in Jupyter Notebook in your laptop, you can do so on SageMaker, but you don't have to install Python 3, or you don't have to install TensorFlow, etc. I will show you how it works. But basically, this is a single plane where you can just go and you can do the training, build your model, and deploy. So the what I mean by deployment is, once your model is ready, let's say once you are done with the training, you will have those model artifacts. And now the next thing that you need to do is inference, right? So that means your model is ready. Now you are you want people to do the inference, so that you can predict, right, based on your model. So how you can do that? So SageMaker gives you an endpoint, which is nothing but an HTTP endpoint, and that endpoint you can use in your application, and that inference will happen through that endpoint. So you don't have to separately create API gateway and other things, right? Everything is taken care by SageMaker and deployment functionality. And these all are scalable. So that means, let's say you build a model, you trained a model, but only 10 people are using today. So that would work fine. But let's say tomorrow 100 people are using, day after tomorrow maybe 1,000 people are using. So obviously, if you have deployed your model in one server or one virtual machine, that would not last, right? You will have REST API call errors, other things will start to happen. But here it's all scalable. So the moment the SageMaker sees that there is a lot of traffic coming on your model for inference, it will automatically scale up, right? So that's the beauty of that. And there are a few new functionalities that we have called SageMaker Autopilot. So SageMaker Autopilot is one of the service within SageMaker where you can actually give the data set and tell SageMaker, I don't know what algorithm is correct for my data set, but I know that this is my data set and this is what I want to predict or classify. It will automatically come up with different algorithm, and it will automatically train different models with different algorithms with different hyperparameters and all of that, and then it will give you a fantastic report. And you can see that, okay, using k-means with this parameters, this is the accuracy. With decision tree, with this parameter, this is the accuracy. So, things like that. So you don't have to do all those things that how basically you don't have to spend time on a test and a trial. So everything will be taken care by SageMaker, right? So this is something that if you are experimenting, right, you should be able to do so. So this works very closely with SageMaker, experiment. There also you give a particular model and algorithm, and it changes different hyperparameters, and it tells you the right experiment. Or what do we mean by right experiment? Maybe the model which has come up with a very good accuracy, right? And then you can pick up that particular model and you can stick with those hyperparameters for that problem state, right? So you don't spend time on this. So without all of this, you have to do this of your own. You have to iterate over different combinations and come up with the right model. And then at the very top layer, what we have is AI-based services. So these are the services for people who are a software developer, but may not be in machine learning space. Right? So let's say you are a front-end developer or a back-end developer, but still you want to leverage AI in your application. So in that case, you may like to use any of these services based on your need. If you have a need to analyze your speech, then you may like to use Poly or transcribe, right, which converts text to speech and speech to text. Similarly, if you want to play around with some text or understand what is the sentiment of a text, then you can use comprehend or comprehend medical for medical field. We will try to see one small demo in that with this service. So basically, for all these AI-based services, you don't have to come up with a data set. You don't have to train a model. Everything is done. Everything is done by AWS, and we have deployed that model within AWS. What we have done is we have published all those RESTful APIs which you can just make use of. So we have a endpoint API for recognition. We have an endpoint API for Poly. So you can just use that and do your inference and get the prediction. Okay, and as a normal practice of machine learning, with over the period of time, you keep on retrain your model with the more number of data that you see, right? So similarly, at Amazon, all these API-based services, we keep on making the model better and better every passing day, so that new information is fed into the training, right? And it can do better prediction over the period of time, right? So I just have two more slides before I jump into the console, because it would make more sense to see the things in action. But this is what I just thought to give you an intuition what this AI-based services looks like. So this is about Amazon recognition. So this is mostly used for image and video analysis. It uses deep neural network at the back end, but what you can do is you can just send an image or video and it can analyze. And there are different types of analysis that you can do on an image. You can tell recognition that, okay, take this image and tell me what you see in that image. So that means you are actually asking recognition for object detection method. So it will just tell that it has a person or rock and with its confidence percent, right, or the confidence level. And based on this, you can take some decision, right? So because this output would be in the form of JSON, and you can parse through that JSON and take some decision that, okay, if in any image I see a bicycle whose confidence percentage is more than 90%, I will categorize that image into a bicycle bucket, something like that, right? But the idea I'm trying to give you is you can read that JSON and take some decision based on your application need. Similarly, you can also tell a recognition to analyze the face emotions, whether a person is smiling, is happy, or is sad, whatever. You can always do that. Even you can predict the age of a person in an image. So that is also possible by looking at the face. You can also do text extraction from your image. One of the application would be number plate detection, right? So when a car is passing by, you can take the frame which contains that number plate and read that number plate number from that number plate and save it in your database, right? It has lots of use cases in traffic signals and parking places. Similarly, we have one of the customer called Chick-fil-A. I think it's UK or US. They are kind of a McDonald's or KFC you can think of. So they used recognition during their cooking pipeline, where in the kitchen, and they see that whether the fries that they are going to serve to their to their customers, are they fresh or not. So if it's not fresh, it just there is a pneumatic which just push that French fries box to the trash, right? And the way that it why they are using it, because they have seen that a lot of people or a lot of customers have complained about that, because they have a very large chain, and they see that not everyone in the restaurant is able to serve people fresh french fries and burgers. So they are using recognition to make sure that the food that you get, right, the french fries, burger, or whatever, right, it's fresh, right? So that adds a lot of value to their customers. So this is one of the examples that we have with recognition in real world. Okay, so this I already explained. Then we have Poly, which translates any text to speech, right? And we do have a lot of support for different languages. And over the period of time, we keep on adding new languages. So let me switch to my console. Okay, so Divya, you are asking how we can deploy using SageMaker. Okay, so I have not planned for any SageMaker demo today, but I can show it to you if in a moment, maybe after this AI demo, we can go over one SageMaker problem and see how we can deploy. Okay, just give me 5 minutes or so. By the time it will be over. Okay, so what you can do is once you log into your AWS console, let me just go to my home page. So you can first go to SageMaker. I've been using SageMaker quite frequently. That's why it has come up here. But ideally, you will see all the services under machine learning, right? And most of the services are AI-based services. But you see that SageMaker is here. But in the presentation, we have seen that there are a lot of services within SageMaker service, right? So once you go inside SageMaker, you would be able to see that. So we are not going to see all this in console of recognition and component and all of that, but I'll go through a simple Jupyter notebook, which will give you an intuition of how things work using those APIs. Okay, so this is SageMaker dashboard, and if you see, there are a lot of things that you see on the left hand side, right? Training, inference, augmented AI, marketplace. So there, all these different subtabs, basically it does different things. So ground truth is for labeling your data. So this is mostly when you try to train your model with some supervised learning technique, you need to have your class label, and not always your data set have class labels, right? So you can use ground truth to to label your data. So we use some human team to label your data, or we have mechanical trunk. So there are different ways that we label your data, but basically this is for labeling your data if you don't have it. Then we have Jupyter Notebook, which we are going to use now. And then under training, you can pick up any of the built-in algorithm that we have. We have lots of built-in algorithm like K nearest neighbor, then linear regression, then XG boost. We have lots of built-in algorithm. You can look into them, or maybe we can have some session on this in the upcoming meetups. And then you can have inference. That means once the model is trained, once you are done with this training here, once you deploy that, you will find the endpoint here. Okay, you can come to endpoint and you can see the endpoint. I think that is what Divya is asking. So we will try to quickly go over one deployment. Okay, so let me go to notebook. This is the first thing that you would probably do. Okay, so once you click on notebook, you can click on the top, create a notebook instance. I already have two notebook, but I just want to show you, how to get started. So you can say something like that, my notebook, any name you can give. Okay, and then you can create the instance type, or what type of instance you want, where this notebook will be created. So basically, in the back end, we create a container, and this whatever system that you specify, the container will be created on this this configuration. So all this instance type come up with some you have some naming. We have a naming convention like ml.m5 4x large. So you can refer to the documentation what are the specs for different instances. But we have categorized it under standard instance, then compute optimized. That means it has more CPUs, and then we have accelerated computing, which has more GPUs. So P2, P3, all these instances have GPUs. So you can use CUDA API to define your tensors. So if you are into deep learning, so let's pick any of the instance, and then you can just go down and click on create notebook. You can always give all this additional details, but for now we can skip all of this, and let me see if I need to explain something. Okay, so there is something called elastic inference. This was not there before, but this is mostly for folks who wants to deploy some model of deep neural network model which needs a GPU, right? So what this does is GPU is expensive, right? We all know. Now, what you can do is to optimize your cost, you can use elastic inference. So what happens in the backend is once the model is deployed for inference, you are not taking a system which has a dedicated CPU, but you are telling AWS that, okay, just give me a GPU, a fraction of the GPU whenever I need, right? So you can pick, again, there are different EI instances, and you can pick any of them. And what happens is once the model is deployed, you will not be charged as you would have if you have gone for a dedicated GPU, right? So this is the best way to save cost after you deploy your deep learning model for inference. Okay? So this is something you may like to use if you need GPU for your processing, right? And then you have IAM role that you have to give for anything like for access permission, because you are creating a notebook, but for training your data would be an S3 or some other source. And you have to make sure that the notebook have the access there. So SageMaker should have the access to your different resources in your account, right? So for that, you need to create an IAM role. Okay. That's all. So then you can just click on create notebook. And once this is done, it will be in the pending state. And after some time, you will see that it's in service. And once it is in service, you can just click on open Jupyter. Okay, so let me do that. I guess I have already opened this. Sorry. Yeah, I guess I have already opened this. So if you click on this, you will find this would be a landing page. You will not see any of the folders. I've been using this for quite some time. That's why I have multiple folders. And now if you come here in new, and you would see all those kernels which are already built in. Right? So that is what we were talking about. All these things are managed by AWS. So you can just pick the kernel and get started with your code. And if you want to use any inbuilt algorithm, or if you want to see some example of that, you can come to SageMaker example, and you can pick any of these example notebooks. Right? It's a fantastic place for learning, right? And you can pick any of the notebooks. So you can preview that, where it will just preview that notebook. And if you want to use it, the moment you click on use, it will be copied in your present working directory. That means once you click on use, you will find that notebook here, and then you can modify and use it after making the necessary changes. All right, so let's go to AI-based services. So this is a simple notebook. It's nothing fancy here, but I just want to show you that how you can call those APIs programmatically. So you can do this via CLI, AWS CLI, but you can most of the time you would be using in some code, right? So we are using Python, but Python is not a big deal. You can use any other language, right? You can use Java or .NET or whatever. So what we are doing here is we are going to detect face on an image. Okay, so we have just created a simple wrapper function, and the way that we are going to do this is we will just import Boto3. So Boto3 is the package which we have for Python to access any resource in AWS. And we are using PIL for image processing, because we are going to print that image on this console, and also we are going to make some bounding box around the face. Okay, so the way that you can create an object is using Boto3 is like this. So Boto3 client, and then the service name. So we are going to use a client, a recognition object. That's why we are saying recognition, right? And if you need to use any other service, you have to put that service name. So everything is documented in the Boto3 documentation, but I'm just going to give you an intuition. So the pipeline is very simple. Your data is saved in S3. Okay, and we will just read that image from S3 and send it to recognition. That means we need to access S3 as well. So we are again creating another object called S3. And if you have noticed, here we have used client and here we have used resource. In fact, we could have used a resource at both the places or client at both the places. So these client and resource both are different classes, and it's just like one is of higher level class, another is a lower level class. So it's just like that. You can make use of anything, but if you use client, you have a better control over more granular thing. Okay. So once what we are doing is this function takes a photo and bucket. So bucket is nothing but where you have actually stored your image. So you can think of it as a folder, and then photo is actually the name of that file. Okay. So what we are going to do is we are going to load that image from S3. So we are just creating an S3 object, and we are just reading that. Okay, and once we read that, then we are going to use pill to process that image. Okay, and then this is the only line which is doing everything for us. So this client is nothing but the recognition client, right? We have declared this. Now I'm calling detect face method within that client object, and we are just passing the bucket name and photo. That's all. And we are saying that okay, you will be so this recognition detect face will give lots of information. You can actually filter that saying which attributes you need. But if you say all, it will just tell you everything about it, and then you can iterate over the whole response and then filter out. I mean, take the information that you want. Okay, so this is the only line of code which is doing the detecting the face from that image. And after this, we are just parsing over the iterating over this response, and fetching some more information like what is the tentative or not tentative, what is the approximate age of that person who is there in that image. Okay, so let's run this. Let's see if it is executed. Okay, it got executed. And now you're just going to see we have this bucket, and we are using AWS CLI to list the objects within that bucket. So we have a couple of images, right? So let's pick image photo 3, okay, and then try to see what it detect. So if you see, it says that it has detected 5 faces, and we created a bounding box. So, and this bounding box, for creating this, we use that pill method. And how do you know that which are the coordinates? So all these coordinates are detected by recognition. You just have to read that, and you can just create that bounding box, right? So you can change the image and see that what it sees. So this is image number 1, and it says that the detected person is within this age, right? And it will tell you, where exactly that face is. Right? So now let me quickly go through translate. So translate is again, it will just translate your text from one language to another. So again, here you have to create an translate client using Boto3 client and the translate service name. That's all. And then you need to take the text, and you need to take the source language and the target language. Right. That's all. So a source language is also not needed. We do have a capability to automatically detect what is the source language, but target language is obviously needed, right? So we can quickly do this, and I'll show you this. So we are saying that the text that we want to translate is thank you for joining this session, and we are saying that this is a English language. This text is in English. We want to convert it into Hindi, right? So we can convert it into Turkish as well. So if you know Turkish, you would know whether this is correct or not, but let's assume that it's correct. And we have just declared a small lookup hash, because this is how the RFP is for language translation, that we have to use this shorthand. So basically this is a standard across the industry for any language processing. And then this is my favorite service, comprehend. And whatever I'm showing is just one single method of each and every services. We can do a lot of things apart from detecting faces using recognition. We can do text extraction from an image, etc. But I just want to give you how you can make use of this API in your application. So this is for comprehend, and here again I have created a comprehend object, and I'm just calling detect sentiment. So I want comprehend to detect the sentiment that it sees inside that text. Okay, so let's run this, and let's say the text is this. Okay, I really like you. So this is a quite a positive sentiment. So that's why it says it's positive, and this is the percentage that it feels, that the confidence percent of this being positive. Okay, so if you say something like this, I really I do not uh, want to go out. I think this is a neutral sentiment or negative. Yeah, what it says. So it's 40% neutral and 53% negative, right? Because it is not such negative statement, right? It's kind of a neutral. That's why you see this division in the confidence interval. I mean confidence percent, right? But you get the idea, right? What it is. So let's say we want to use not sentiment, but I want to use detect entities. So this is again another method. So here I'm not I have not created any other function. I'm just calling that method directly. So this will detect some entities from the text. So let's see what it can detect. So the text is today we are having the kickoff for AWS User Group Ranchi, right? So if you see, it has already detected that date. Today is actually a date class, and it actually created, it has stored the actual date. It also says that AWS, which we have used in this text, it is an organization, right? So, but Rachi, it has categorized it as a person, right? And if you are into, I guess this is because the model never learned that as a this as a classified as a place or something. So let's try this. Let's say Rachi, India. What it says. Okay, so now you see that Ranchi, India, has been categorized as a location, right? So you can think of it like if you're into deep neural network or deep learning, you can get an intuition why this is happening, right? And because of how the model has been trained. But this is how you can make use of all these API-based services, right? So now, since that you have asked, I guess I have already crossed my time, but let me show you how that SageMaker work. Okay, so but I guess I have one more thing, so let me show you that. So this is a simple application using comprehend. Okay, so we have seen comprehend and that it can detect sentiment and it can analyze your text and all of that. So there is a service called comprehend medical. Okay, so there is a wonderful blog that we have in AWS website. You can go through that. But what we are trying to do is using comprehend medical, it can not only detect text sentiment or the text from the image, but sorry, it can not only analyze the text that you pass, but it can also analyze the text from the medical standpoint. Like let's say you say that I take XYZ medicine 2 times a day, it will automatically understand that okay, dosage is 2 times a day. So it understands medical language, right? And this is very important in a lot of many countries where they store all the transactions between a doctor and a patient in a digital format, right? So this is very useful. So now what we are going to do is, in this simple example, we are going to analyze one X-ray image, and what we are going to do is we want that X-ray image should not contain any personal information or PHI data, right? So because that is confidential thing and that should not go to a public or to research people who are analyzing the data set of different patients, right? So what we want is we want we will pass an X-ray image, and that X-ray image will have some personal information, right? Name and other things. And we want somehow, if we can blur that area where that name is or age is, and then pass that X-ray image to researchers so that they can make use of that, right? So, and this is very important. Like my wife, she is into medicine, and I've seen that when they do lots of research on with patient data, none of their data, contains, information about any patient. So she doesn't know actually this is an X-ray of which person, right? So she just see that, okay, what that X-ray contains, and how to interpret it, medically. That's all. It's just kind of a blindfolded image. So what we are going to do is we are going to save that image in S3, and then we will call recognition to first extract the text from that X-ray. And once that is done, we have to categorize like whether that text contains medical related or PHI based information or not, right? If it is, so we will, how we can do that? We will send that text to Comprehend Medical, and Comprehend Medical will tell us that, okay, out of this 10 text, 5 of them contains PHI information. So after that, what we can do is we will just blur those 25 text or 5 text wherever it is inside that image. Okay, so it's a very simple code. I will just run it through. So here also it's very simple. We are creating, so we need 3 different services. If you go up, how many services we are using? We are using S3, we are using recognition, we are using comprehend, right? And here S3, so it's same, right? So S3, recognition, and comprehend. These are 3 services that we are using, and we are already in SageMaker, right? This notebook itself in SageMaker. So here we are creating 3 different objects: one for comprehend, one for recognition, and one for S3, right? And we are just going to download that image and then pass it to recognition to extract the text, and then we will send that text to comprehend, so that comprehend will tell us, could tell us which information contains PHI, and we will then use uh, pill module to blur that area, right, in that X-ray. So if you run that, you see that this is an X-ray image, and there are a lot of information, like you see that patient's name is there, age is there, date of birth is there, etc. So now what we will be doing is, first we have to extract those text. So for that we are using recognition, and we are saying detect text, and we are saving the response in response variable, right? And once this is done, let me run this. So once this is done, we are just iterating over the response, and you see that it has detected all this text: chest, IAM, lat, name. So if you see, these are all of the text which are here, right? All these lines that you see here, it has detected everything. So now we have solved half of the problem. We have extracted the text from the image. So now next thing is, how do we know out of this all this text which contains PHI information? Okay, so for that we are using comprehend, right? And we are calling the detect PHI method, and we are just parsing that data, right? And let me run this, and it says that these are the PHI data, okay, whatever are the texts. And now we can use this. Doesn't contain any usage of AWS services. This is just to play around and blur that image. So let me just run this through. If you see, now we are able to blur all the area where those PHI informations were there. And now you can process this image for your research team or whatever it is, right? So you don't. So if you imagine, we have done a lot of things, but we have not trained any model, right? We are just using the AI-based services of AWS, right? So let me go to SageMaker, and let me now show you. Let me show you the SageMaker, deployment, right? So let me use SageMaker Studio. So SageMaker Studio is basically a new service that we have, and in SageMaker Studio, what you get is you get all these features that we have in SageMaker, but in single pane. So you don't have to go to the AWS console to go to different tabs like notebook, experiments, and etc. etc. Everything you get it in this single page. Okay, so everything, whatever you see here, everything is built in. So if you see that the look and feel is a little different. So now if you want to create a notebook, you can just select the kernel that you want and click here, and it will open a notebook directly. Okay, so you don't have to toggle through. So let me go to one example. Okay, so this is an example. This is a very simple example of linear regression. So basically, we have a data set called salary, and it has the year of experience and salary. And your task is basically to build a model so that given an experience, you can predict salary. Right? It's a very simple regression task. Right? So what I can quickly show you is how we do that on the SageMaker side. Okay, so we are just loading the data into a pandas data frame. Okay, and the next is we are just checking that if it has any missing data or something like that. So we are just using is null. So we see that I'm just using this heat map to see if you see anything, then you know that there is some missing data. And then we are just playing around the data. If you see that what is the standard deviation, min, max, whatever, right? So nothing fancy here. And here is a pair plot. So this is a method for Seaborn, and you can see that correlation between the two parameters, right? Year of experience and salary. And we see that there is a linear relationship, right? And the idea of our model should be to come up with a line, right? Which has the least variance, right? So we have to find that line, right? Since this has just one input, which is the salary, year of experience, and output is the salary. So now this is again the correlation matrix, just to see how much related these features are. So salary is always dependent on salary. That's why you see one, but it has a very strong relationship with the year of experience, right? So that's why we can surely use a linear regressor for this. So what we do is just like a normal practice, we are just converting that data into X and Y. So because we know that Y is our class label or feature, and we are converting it into a NumPy array. And then we are using scikit-learn to split the data for training and test, and we are keeping 20% of the data for test. Right? So we are now having 4 variables: X train, X test, Y train, Y test. Right? So this is the training data set, which contains 80% of the data with its class label as Y train, and similarly for X test. Now, nothing SageMaker here. Okay, this is normal, scikit-learn how you would run in your laptop. So we are using a linear regression module from scikit-learn, and we are just creating an object, and then we are just fitting it, right? So intercept equal to true is nothing but when you do that, you say that because at the end of the day, what you are trying to do, so you are trying to create a line, right? What is the equation of the line? Y is mx plus you can think of mx plus c, right? What we want to know is this intercept and the slope. Right? These are the two things that we want to know, right? So when you say that fit intercept is true, that means we are saying that okay, the c can have any value. But when you say intercept is false, what we basically say is this is 0. So you're forcing your line to pass through the origin. Okay, this is what this means. Okay. So once you train that model, once you call the fit, you can get the accuracy, and you can actually get the coefficient, that is the slope, what we have seen here, that's m, and the b is nothing but the intercept, right? So now let's say now we have to do the same thing on SageMaker. How we can do that? So let me scroll down. This is how we can do this. Okay, this is one of the way. There are different ways, but there is one of the way. So here we have used SageMaker module, and SageMaker itself, because SageMaker is such a big service, we have a separate SDK for that. You can always use Boto 3 client. So you can always use this. So you can always use SageMaker equal to Boto 3 dot client and then SageMaker. Okay, you can always do that, just like we have been using. But in that case, you have to do a lot of things manually, right? And we will, maybe in some day we will have some deep dive on SageMaker. We can discuss that. But Now you can assume that this is a high level service. Okay, it is an high level API, and this is kind of a low level API for SageMaker from SageMaker standpoint. Okay, it's a low level API. So now we are going to create a SageMaker session, and we have to declare, the and why session? Because this session will capture all the information, like which region you are in, who is the user who is using this service, and all of this metadata is captured when you call this method. And then we have to declare the bucket name with the prefix where my data is, that is salary.csv. And again, we are going to split that data. And what we're going to do is we are first going to save the data into S3. We can always run it from locally because we already have the data. But for SageMaker, it's always high performant when you have the data in S3. And then let SageMaker read it from there. There are a few advantages which you would not realize now because your salary.csv is just a few KB file. But when in real world, the data set is pretty large, right? So there we have different ways to read the file, right, in pipe mode and all of that. And you don't have to make use of a whole memory to load your data. It just streams. Okay. So now how you do that? Once you have the data, you just save it in S3, right? So this is where we are uploading the data into S3. And once this is done, we are ready for the training. So how we could do the training? So in SageMaker, when you start the training, at the back end, it actually fires the container. Okay, and which container? It depends on what type of algorithm you want to use. If you are using the default algorithm, so here we are using a default algorithm of linear learner, right? So we have to first know what is the container name, exact container name or image name, so that we can say that when we fire the training, it will spin that container, right? So we are saying that get this container. We are calling this method called get image URI. So basically, all of our images of container images are stored in ECR. You can think of it just like a GitHub. Where we store the Docker container images, Docker Hub, right? So just like that, but this is within AWS, right? This is within AWS. We have the service name is ECR, Elastic Container Registry. So we are asking that, okay, go to the region that I am in, okay, and then this is my region, right? And then check for this image. So this is how it filters what is the exact image name, and then it says that, okay, I am in US East 1, and this is my container image name. Okay, so now I know that this is the container I'm going to use for training. Training will not happen in this notebook where I'm running. Although you can always run the training locally, but ideally you will not do that, right? Because your training might be very high-end, training for with GPU requirement with gigabytes of data, right? But you don't want your notebook instance to have hundreds of gigabytes of memory. So this is you are just specifying which container your training should run. Okay, so now this is the fun part. So this is why you use SageMaker SDK, not Boto3. If you have to use Boto3, then this will not work, right? Because we in SageMaker we have made things very simple. So we have created an API or a method called estimator where you can give the container name, what is the role, how many instances you want for training. So we call it as a parallel training, right? For this data set, you can say just one container is good enough. But let's say you are taking a huge data, right? And in that case, you want the training to happen in 10 containers, or you want a distributed training. Then you can give the number. That's all, right? And then you specify what type of container it should be. So this is again the instance type. You can specify whatever instance you want, and then you need to say where it should save the trained model, because after the training is done, it has to save those artifact of the model, right? Which you can use to deploy at later point in time. So this is where it happens. Okay, so you have to save some, give some path. So this is a S3 path, bucket path, and then you pass that SageMaker session details which we have created. You can also set some hypervisor parameters like number of features. We have just one because we just have one feature, and regressor is the predictor. We have batch size, a mini batch size of 5. That means 5 data would be processed at the same time. Epoch is 5. That means we will have 5 times. Each data point in a training set will be passed through the model 5 times. I mean, these are general machine learning terms. I mean, you know better than me. And then we have to declare what is the loss function that you want to use, right? We are using absolute loss. There are different types of loss, right? Entropy and other things. And then we start the training. Now, the moment you start training, it creates that container. And what container it will create? The container that you have specified, okay? And where it will create? The instance type that you specify, okay? And it might take some time because it will be creating that in your backend, and you just have to wait for some time. And later on, once this is done, when you scroll down, you will see that the training, you will get a message like training is completed, and it took 55 seconds or 57 seconds. That means you will be charged only for this 57 seconds, okay? And we have not used spot instances, but if you use spot instances, then your usage would be even less, okay? So this is how your training is done, okay? So now once the training is done, you can deploy it. So let me show you how you deploy. That's what Divya's question was. And this again, I was training another model, but these 3 parameters extra where I just use spot instances. That's all. Okay, so spot instances is in AWS, we have a lot of unused resource EC2 machines, which you can leverage. Okay, and it has some guideline what you can do, what you cannot do with that. But basically the basic idea is you can make use of those unused EC2 resources or compute resources, and it can save you a lot of money, almost 80 to 90% of your cost saving that you can have. Okay, so and I can show you that when I trained this, go down. This is something that I recently, discovered. I never used spot instances for training, but one day Rohini was mentioning about spot instances, so I just thought to try it out. And now, if you see, the training took 40 seconds, but billable is just 16 seconds. So this is the cost saving. So you can see the cost savings as well. So anyway, so once the training is done, right, how you can deploy is you can just call that method and say deploy. Again, when you deploy, you have to tell SageMaker what type of instance you want for deployment. So you mentioned that I want this instance type and how many instances you want for deployment. So you just say 1, 2, 3, whatever. And it takes some time, and till you see that exclamation mark, that means deployment is still going on. And once this is done, you will get an endpoint, an HTTP endpoint, which I can show you here in the UI. If you come to inference endpoint and click on this, you will find an HTTP endpoint. So this is the endpoint that it gets created. It created. Okay. Now, if you do a curl post if you do a curl post API call with the year of experience, it will tell you the salary that it has predicted from that model, right? So you have not done anything, fancy here, right? We have just deployed just one API call, and you get a URL, right, which you can make use of. So and later, it's pretty straightforward. You can call predict function, and you can do the prediction one by one, or you can do the prediction through the endpoint, right? So this is how basically you can train and deploy your model in SageMaker. We have not touched upon everything, but I hope you got some idea about that, right? So now, if you want to go over, if you want to learn more about this, there are different resources that we have. You can go through, Udacity, Coursera, and edX. These are the training partners that we have. You can always go through machine learning specific trainings. We do have other trainings as well there. But feel free to explore those courses. Those are, a few of them are very much updated. Like Udacity, we are running a scholarship for a nano degree on machine learning, so you can explore that. And also we have some fancy device like Deep Racer, Deep Composer, and Deep Lens, which are mostly in the deep learning side. If you're into deep learning, you may like to explore these devices as well. Okay, so you can keep in touch. This is my LinkedIn. Rohini also shared before, but feel free to reach out if you have anything. Okay, so that's all from me. Okay, so I'll just post this link so you can try to scan, and you might get some credits. Okay, I just posted in the chat. Okay, and yeah, that's all from my side, and I'll just spend some time to go over a few of your questions. And by the way, this is also another website called ml.aws. We have a ML university, machine learning university, and there are a lot of trainings, not only specific to AWS, but generic to machine learning. So that's a very good place to hang around. Okay, so. Is any other question? Okay, there is a question called Sonu is asking, launch Jupyter Notebook is accessible globally or have a security restriction in is like private IP or where we launch within that VPC. So this service is within your VPC and it is specific to your region. So when you open this, right, when you open this notebook, when you create a notebook, it is specific to your region, whichever region that you are in. Right now, if you want to create another notebook into another region, it will get created there, right? But it will be within your VPC. Okay, so it's not needed. Basically, it is hosted, on the cloud, right? So you are not specifying, you are not creating that instance, right, where this container is getting created, right? So you are just saying that you just need a container, sorry, an Jupyter notebook. So but you have to make sure that which region you are in. Especially this SageMaker Studio, it was not there in all the regions. And now we have in most of the region, but I don't think we have in all the region. So if you click on some other region, right, and then click on SageMaker Studio, it may not work. It will tell you that this is not the region where you can have a studio at this point. Okay. There's one more question. Okay, Vivek is asking, in production point of view, does SageMaker provides model and data drifting monitoring? Yes, they do. I have not played around with that, but we do have uh, experiments, okay, and where you can use that. And also, not only that, you can also do a modeling. So let me just quickly show you the monitoring part. So let's say you go to any of the endpoint, right? You can enable monitoring. So the moment you enable monitoring, this is the beauty of Studio. You have not written a single line of code, but how to enable this monitoring for this endpoint, right? You can just fill in your endpoint configuration and you can run it. Your model will be, your endpoint will be monitored. So you can get all the details about the precision and accuracy and other statistics, and then you can see that how your model is performing over the period of time. And not only that, you will train your model multiple times over the period of time with different data set or new data set, right? So you will get an idea about how your model is performing over the period of time. Okay, that's a very good question. So you can do so. Yeah, does that answer your question, Vivek? Okay, so that's all from my side. I'm really sorry. I guess, Harshit, I took almost most of your time. So really sorry about that. So let me just stop sharing my screen.
No issue, Suman. That was really a very informative hands-on session that people get to know about deeper implementation of ML and deep research. Yeah. So yeah, I really want to thank this Suman sir for the session, and yeah. So I'll just start with, and I'll just try to keep it short. So it feels really awesome to live in the dream that we have seen months back and what is today known as AWS Ranchi. We started this initiative for all the AWS enthusiasts to brush up the skills and have a great learning curve. Talking about my journey in Amazon, like which has definitely been a roller coaster ride. Like I started working as an Amazon SD intern back in January 2020, and now I have accepted the full-time offer. So just the key takeaway which I just wanted you guys to know as an starting developers. as an whenever in life when you see think about the problem, like always try to be a customer obsessed type of develop a customer obsessed type of feeling, and think about the problem and then work backwards. Like this is the key things that drives us in helping out each and everybody. Like whenever you see a problem, let's say any principle, like in AWS is a very good example of inventing and simplify. Whenever you face a problem, think about it, try to solve it, and invent stuff around that. Talking about my journey, like my experience in Amazon, I would definitely recommend people that try to have a basics concept of DSAs and fundamentals so that you can tackle problem. More about that, I just want to have a bit of advice. Like, let's say whenever you are facing any problem in the life, like in the debugging purpose, try to make use of the community. I just want to stress on this part, community part, because developers community, or let's say any community, is a group of people who are like-minded people who will gonna help you. So whenever you are getting started, let's say in this presentation, and let's say in any of the presentations or anywhere you get stuck, you are not able to find a solution. Instead of directly approaching someone, first approach yourself. Like start take the paper, take the pen, and start jolting down all the problems and the steps you have followed. You will find that 50% of problem gets you just get to visualize exactly what I'm looking for. Then try to jump over the developers community, search for some of the problems. Let's say you didn't find the problem, then go to the Stack Overflow, post your problems, post all the snippets, post all your artifacts, whatever you have thought of, what you have just researched upon, everything. Try to get engaged with the community. Just let's say, I know it will takes a bit time, it will take a bit than directly asking the experts. No issues. When once you are getting engaged in a community, you will feel that yeah, people are helping you out and your problems are getting solved in a much easier way. So that was my like what the main thing that I learned in an Amazon, as to get yourself unblocked, like through yourself only. There's no one there to be who will complete who will be just helping you around every time. So try to figure out because you are the solution of your own problems. Recently, like I have worked with AWS services, as Suman sir told about the Deep Composer. Last day only I was working with the Deep Composer, and believe me that it's a wonderful product that uses generative AI. Like you can produce a hell lot of music, like any music you want, just simply putting a simple sample music in this. Also, I have in my internship I have worked with some step functions and all the different services which directly enables you to monitors a lot of lambdas, and just you to have a output driven work. It really helps you a lot. S- Also, I just wanted to emphasize on just 3 points, that whenever you want to achieve something in life, like this is a bit of advice, like I just wanted to have it. Like three things are most important: persistence, focus, and hard work. Like always try to work on the problem statement which you have, and don't get deviated from. Let's say you are not able to get it, or you're not able to get the result, but that's not an issue. Try to focus and work on. Yeah, so that's it from my side also. Like it really feels awesome to, like it's for your guys attending the this sessions. And I would really like to thank AWS Ranchi team for working day and night for this initiative, planning the event, laying the foundation with like-minded peoples, and helping the developer communities. Big shout out to Ankit sir, Rohini ma'am, and Suman sir for their great insights and informative words, like which would definitely serve as a guidance to our development. And this kickstart will definitely gonna help our community to go swiftly. I would also like to thank different collaboration clubs, which includes IT BIT Meshra, ISM Dhanbad, HNCC BIT Sindri, or SDS BIT Meshra, for their collaboration and support towards building a community. Few important mentions that I would definitely like to mention: Parth and Vishal for believing in this thought, which have been thoughted almost a year back, then shipping it up, then canceling the event, then finally we are presenting it. And yeah, I'm on it, speaking in it. So yeah, it definitely feels great and making this a huge success. Thanks a lot everyone for joining us. Hope you had a important takeaways. uh yeah, so that's all from the AWS Ranchi team. We'll be back, guys, with more new events and learning. Until then, keep hustling, keep learning, keep safe. Thanks a ton. Bye bye.